go through some of these notebooks and see if some of us have tried them anyhow or any time at all. So first of all is to look at the coastal erosion notebook, which could be of interest to some of us. But I know not every country has a coast, just to see how this notebook works. So this notebooks has been developed using the Landsat 8 data, which we focus on the mean water index to give you an overview. And just to give you an overview of this training is just that you just need the coordinates of a certain area, and then you can use the buffer to get the whole area. So for this case, I was looking at the coast of Mombasa, and going through the notebook, you can see the bands which have been loaded and the data there, and you can always change some of these things to maybe make them faster. For example, the Landsat data is at 30 meters. In case you change that to 100, then your script will run very fast. Like it's like maybe going through a Modis data just to optimize the processing sometimes. Then using this mean water index, you'll be able to see there's a computation of the tidal heights, which could be of interest. And going down, you see some of these results of certain areas. So using this script, I just wanted to see if we could change some other areas. So which other area would you like us to see our costs? This is an interactive class. So that was Mombasa here. So none of us is coming from a coast area. So Stella, which one would you recommend?
Maybe we could try what I wanted. Maybe around Chad, please. But because maybe Madagascar, your coverage is beyond Africa.
Yes, Madagascar will work. So certain coasts like near Antananarivo.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, so I'll just put the coordinates of here. Then what I wanted to focus is that I'm using the DEA maps. So just to make your work a little bit easier, you can narrow it down to any coasts where you see some activity. And once you click there, you'll see some coordinates here. Then this one you just copy, then you bring it to your notebook. So I'll still use the same notebook because I can also choose to save this one as Madagascar, just to see that whenever you're told to move your things, you're able to organize your work a little bit okay. Then so that you can refer whenever you need to refer to some results in case you need to share with some colleagues. So of interest is this coordinate information, and just to the basics of a small geography, anything south is a negative there. Sometimes I know that one might become useful for you, then anything east is positive. So looking at most of us here, we play around this area of negative lat. So based on that, I can just save and run everything. Then I'll be able to judge how the buffer will work for me. So the best thing with this is that you can run it and you can see a buffer area. In case you're not interested, you want to stop, you can stop the code. Then you can do some small adjustment if you need be. Or even you want to make it smaller, for example, you save, then you run it again. So these are some of the tricks which can be useful when we are working with these notebooks. So at least I've been able to narrow down somewhere to the coast, but within like a lagoon. So I can stop and make it a little bit bigger. Make it at least maybe 5. Or back to the same one. Okay, 5 will work. So the best thing with the buffers is that you can stop your code and run it and start again. Then this one will complete. Then the other example I think I wanted is, since Stella is here, there's some work she worked on a coffee farming.
Yeah, Muranga.
Yeah, so actually I had the same area so that we
Okay.
can educate our colleagues who've joined us today. So there's this notebook called Crop Health, and some of us have been able to look at it. So I went through this Crop Health notebook, and looking at it, now we've modified it to use Sentinel-2 20, just looking at the NDVI. And what is important is that we have some examples of some areas that we can run. And in this case, I followed Stella's example of working with these areas. So I went to this DE Africa map. Then I chose, this view is always the best because then you can see any big cities, then you can zoom around. Then once you're around the area that you want, you can choose to use the map view of the image, which can give you some ideas of some areas. So in this case, we're looking for some crops around this area. And I was able to get the coordinates around this here. And those are the ones which I saved here for this notebook to run. And it was able to run and give me some opportunity to add some farms areas. So I can actually even show you how I was doing this. Looking at this area, you can zoom in and you can go to a certain field and choose to draw the polygon of a certain field just to investigate how the health of this field is working. And whenever you plot, these are different colors. So these are 4 plots for these areas. And you can see, I've been able to see how they're behaving in terms of the NDVI over a period of time. So this is a period of 2019, the July, to maybe 2021 over July. So it's a very good period to see some adjustments. And you can see the values are very interesting. So what could that mean for a farmer? Different crop yields or different varieties of coffee, or some areas maybe were cultivated. And looking at those values, we can just try to get another area around here so that we can see how this curve will look. So this is a little bit dense coffee if from your visual interpretation. So what I was trying to stress today, the point here is that whenever you're working with any of these applications, you are the expert because you have some more ground information. And this one draws as purple, and you can see it has slightly higher NDVI values. And from your visualization, you can see possibly greener coffee or greener areas. So this just can give you an idea. And since this is an interactive session, we can have a volunteer of someone who can give us an area that we can look at. Welcome, David Ongo and colleagues. We are just going through some of these notebooks just for familiarization. And this particular one, we're looking at the crop health. And we are trying to see how we can get some areas. So, David, could you volunteer an area that we can look at?
Yes. Can we have a look at Galana Kulalu?
Yes, so this should be towards the coast with the Tana River. Are you able to guide these navigation? It's around these area, Tana River.
Well,
Yes.
if you follow the river that goes into Malindi.
Yes, through Malindi.
Down.
Yeah, it should be around here, going upwards. This one.
Tana River. Yeah, around there. It should be around where there's no going up, slightly up.
With the
around
Taveta, this area?
Yes, I think so. It should be around there.
Because it shows some level of...
there, it's exactly, you see where there's some brown patches?
Around this area?
Yeah, if you zoom slightly outside, you should be able to see it.
Okay. Around this area?
Think, yeah, that should be around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or in case you are in doubt, you can always use another person called Dr. Google. Don't be afraid to use various options to make your life a little bit easy. You can also even use Bing Maps, but sometimes Bing Maps might display differently. Yes, you are right, David, around this area. So using that in mind, how is the visualization on maps? It's similar-ish. And the images show that maybe the area was started and somehow stopped.
I think the latest image, normally, I've been trying to look for it.
Yeah.
The image on top is always not very high resolution. Obvious region, coastal region, clouds.
Yeah, clouds, and also maybe security of the area. This is from our knowledge working with those guys. Some areas were very sensitive. So I wanted just to demystify that whatever we are doing is very easy, just changing stuff, and you are the experts here. And you can get any code running for any area and any application based on the request from our superior colleagues, etc., etc. So this was one of the errors one of us used to get. I was running the wrong one. Supposed to run this one. The LAT is here. Then I will give also a session for any feedback from anyone so that we can make this tool much better in terms of what you want to see it do. So as it loads also is to give you the various options of what we have. Yeah, there's something with a notebook. Yeah, I think you had this error, David, in the WhatsApp group, yeah?
Yes, we did.
And it was loading same time. And I remember it was an issue of having the same processes running at the same time. And this is what we used to do. You can shut it down from here, then you start it again. Sometimes it helps as I try to admit new participants in the sessions.
Kenneth, I have a question.
Yes, please.
When going through the notebooks, it's like when we run analysis, for example, crop health, we can only do a comparison in a plot of only NDVI. Is there a possibility that in the same plot we can have EVI just to see, especially if you're comparing time series, which one has the capability in terms of the type of crop health you're monitoring or any type of study one is doing to compare different indices in the same plot?
Yeah, that was a question which was raised, and what it looks is like there's a script in the back end which is being loaded. So for us is we can only able to edit once and make it sure it runs on either of the two. So we can also edit it to make sure that it runs on the EVI. So
Okay.
like this one is running from scripts. We moved them because now I'm working from a different, we move these scripts to tools. Africa tools. Remember with somewhere we put it. It's just coming in a few seconds. There's somewhere where we moved things around for the scripts, and I'll be able to get it so that I'll be able to get back to you soon on this one and this error.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So David, how did you resolve yours? We had to remove the notebooks and return them again.
Yes, I had to copy afresh.
Yeah.
I deleted that one, but I had to rename it a little different.
I think it is somewhere where we are loading them from. That is something I'll get back to you, because I remember we moved things around a long time. We used to have them here. And whenever I copy them to a different folder, yeah, so this is the file, Stella, the one we are trying to load. And if you go inside, there's I remember there's a section where we were able to change this to either NDVI or EVI. And this is where the manipulation goes in.
Okay, that's fine then.
You can save it and run. So that is something we can see if we can have two plots at the same time.
Yeah, like NDVI and EVI, so that when one is comparing time series, you can see at which particular type of indices is able to monitor the change faster. Maybe it can be helpful.
Yeah, that will be able to.
Daktari, I think if you go back to the same line you are.
Yes, sir.
There's a separator there. I think there you can include NDVI if you want. You can calculate NDVI, but when you are mapping them out, you should be able to indicate you also want to plot NDVI, AVI as well.
Something like that.
I think
okay.
so.
Okay. This is under scripts.
Yes.
Let me note it down.
Yeah, we can even take a screenshot.
Yeah.
As a student, this is what really works. Screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, within ourselves, we have the experts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
And these errors sometimes can be sorted out with some patience. Sometimes it works, sometimes it won't work, but we'll figure it out. So for those who've joined us, we were looking through some of the notebooks. We were in the real world examples, and we were looking at the coastal erosion for Madagascar from Stella's example. It was able to run, and it was plotting very interesting results because it was loading towards the mainland and the coast. So these will be your results, Stella.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so it's just here. So we are just going through some of these notebooks for some curiosity purposes. Here was just another one I tried to load for some areas, but I had very bad coordinates. So this one I'll have to change. For this particular region, I was trying to get coordinates. However, we can get now the examples from everybody. Why you want to see the urban growth. The microphone is open. Yes, which city do we want us to look at? Okay, we can look at Masaru.
I think Moshushu should be able to tell us which city we should look at.
Yeah. Maseru is fine.
Maseru
we can go to Gaborone. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to
Gaborone, Botswana.
Gaborone. Okay. Gaborone wins. Gaborone wins.
You know, Lesotho and Botswana are cousins, so it's fine. Let's go to Lesotho.
No.
Are we really cousins or we're brothers and sisters?
We are brothers and sisters. That's why we speak the same language.
And we bring a lot of cooler with rain.
Yes, we make it rain.
Exactly.
And in Lesotho nowadays they have ice. They have winter and snow. So I want to go to the mountains of Lesotho, to experience snow.
This is new. At this time of the year, wow, it must be very cold.
It is very cold.
So Gaborone looks nice. It's plotting some small errors which we'll be able to correct. There was some challenge. Yes, the collection. 2 data are supposed to change somewhere here. Small things can be corrected. And since Kelebog is here, you can see, you can make the resolution of the results to be any figure. So if you make it like 100, it will work very fast. Some of the optimizations, but Gaborone fairly, we've chosen a small area. Let's see how it goes. So this one will be running in the background as we argue on who Lesotho we should look at. So where in Lesotho? Maseru?
Maseru is fine.
Okay. So I'll go to the same file here for Gaborone, and I'll try to say save as, and I'll go at, let me just save it nicely, because I'm having this interesting system which Stella also uses. They are very so I'll go to, you can also choose here. I think I pronounced it badly.
With an S, not a C.
Yeah, with an S. Yeah, it's our different places we've come from.
Yes, there it is.
Yes. Thank you, my brother. This one now is loading very nice.
You're welcome.
I'll click at the center part of it. And this is the location marker. I copy it, then put it here so that we can see how our city is growing. And also from the background is that Moshoshoi has all the information that the city is doing very well, growing. Then we can look at the example from Gaborone. So, oh no, this one was where? Oh yeah, there was another example. Here, this one now. So sometimes it's good to rename these things. You might work on many areas and displace your data. So, Kidabugi, are you happy with some of these results? Not very sure.
Yeah, it's I can see there's Gaborone Dam. Is that the Gaborone Dam?
Yes, Gaborone Dam here.
It's good. Yes. No,
Yeah.
it's fine.
It's coming out well.
Because actually the population, the urbanization around Gaborone Dam will be interesting to look at.
Okay. So there was some problem with this code, of which I'll go through, make sure it runs. The issue with the collection 2. I think I should make it as 2 for now. It gives you an idea of what it can do. So we are just going through some of these notebooks, and the other one I can go through is maybe something on Lake Chad, an example. So what I want to make these classes to be is that you can look at any notebooks without being given an assignment, and this will give you an opportunity to explore. And you can also criticize the notebook that you want it to do something, and then we can actually modify it to do some work for us. That is the message today, is that all this work is for us to make sure we take advantage of. So this one, for what extent, was discussed last week with my colleague Edward, and this specifically for lectured example. And from this, I want to just show you some of the results they look at. So this is a very big area, so it shows you the plot of the water over time. And based with the person we were talking with, we could see that there are some areas around towards the mid of the year when it's too hot, maybe the levels are a little bit low. Then towards September, November, they experience some rains, then the levels are slightly up. This could also resonate with what we have in Botswana, in Okavango. Could that be the case, Kilabugi?
Actually, yeah, it's quite interesting to see how the lecture is happening, because the Okavango Delta, as I mentioned, is huge. We normally look at it just like in Botswana, but it's as in Angola, so it's the same pattern there.
Yeah, it looks similar for your brothers and sisters in this area. And maybe just out of curiosity, whenever I visit some of these areas, they ask me if I'm Pula. So I see some of the routes. We also have some brothers and sisters in Chad and in West Africa. Kelabogi, just to make sure you're not left behind.
They ask you for Pula.
They say I represent some people in Botswana. So I told them most of us migrated south.
Actually, you resemble a lot of my from my hometown. They look like you.
I know towards Maungu area.
No, around the Gaborone area. We'll go there around Hatsalatadi area.
Yeah. So this one for my brother, Mashoshoe, looked interesting, and possibly what I could do, since Mashoshoe is in this class, is that, do you want to share some of these notebooks? You can choose to download it, and it will download it somewhere. Then you can share with someone even on a WhatsApp group. I can send in a WhatsApp group for RCMRD. Then also you can choose to export as a HTML file, which is the best because it's a file which, if someone opens it, actually run through and it look like an example of actually something that is really working. So this one I'll be able to share in the other groups. So this is just some how ways we can share some of the information. So looking at this for Lake Chad, out of curiosity, I looked at the radar water detection, which I think I shared the result with David for Lake Baringo. How was the results, David?
I think it's actually representing some of the aspects that we want to further do. The changes are, let me just say, it is impressive. Yes. That's the word I can use, yeah.
And actually, I wanted us to look at it together so that we can connect what we have on DE Africa Sandbox and what we have on the DE Africa maps. So I was trying to show you the power of the two. So this is just the extent of Lake Baringo area, and this is Lake Baringo area with a small island in the middle, where we used to have some giraffes which were moved. Very interesting story. I'll share the link actually here on this blog, where with some colleagues, we were able to document these process of how these animals were relocated because of they found themselves there around 1960s or before, but no one knows what happened previously. So it's a very good story to look at, and I'll also share the link in the chat. And this is some of the things that we can work together in terms of documenting or sharing stories with our colleagues. So going back to the same story here is that this is the story for Lake Baringo, and I was also tried to increase the resolution or to decrease it to 100 so that it runs a little bit faster. And these are the plots of the area. And this is specifically for the year last year with a compilation of Sentinel-1 image for the area. So later on, I'll try to do something for, I think Okabango, you received similar results, Kilabogi. Were you given the notebooks to look at?
I looked at the, yes, I looked at the notebooks.
Okay. Or are you in a position to share your screen, or maybe you can do it next time once you look at it properly?
No, I'm not on my
it
laptop
is fine.
right now. I'm just using my mobile.
Okay.
So I can do it next time.
No problem. Okay, so this is the story I wanted first to look with David, is that looking at Lake Baringo from these maps, just to show you the power of this combination, is that in these DA Africa maps, you can look at a data set from anywhere you want, and then you can add data. For example, we wanted to add something on the water observations from space. We could do an annual water summary of wet observations, and it will be able to load in a few minutes. Then I'll add it to the map. So this is it. So it shows you accumulative wetness for some times. So you can actually move between different dates and the year. So this one was done using Landsat 8. So like an annual summary in 2013, how things looked, and an annual summary in the year 2014, And the best thing with this lake is that, and what David is investigating is whether the changes in Lake Baringo, do they affect the other lakes in the south of the lake? So the other part is that we can load the map view and see what is in the background from the base map. So this will give you an indication of how the area it looks. And it has some small lakes in between. So there's Lake Bogoria at the south, and then there's a small one which appears whenever there's some floods. And how can we confirm this is that we can also go to the same satellite images and try to look at the surface reflectance of the Sentinel-2 of last year. And this particular time, I think David was looking at September. Was that correct?
Yes, starting September.
So that should be around here. So anything September can work. So which can filter by location. So this is how it looks from this particular image. So it was basically a rainy season. Then from this Sentinel-2 data, we can also change and get the water index to make our life a little bit interesting. So this is the scenario that David had, that around this time of September, there was some exceptional rainfall. And from this mean water index value, you can see there was some interesting figures around here. A lot of clouds anyway. But just beyond the clouds, you can see there was some increased precipitation around this area in the south. Then from that also, we can try and also load the geomod. I want us to maximize these data sets as much as possible. So whenever you are doing your research, you can always maximize everything that you need. So also using the geomod, I can go to the mean water index of this area, and you can see the situation. So in the 2020, there was a lot of precipitation around here. Then in the mean of this year, slightly less if you look properly. And also 2018, slightly not so much. So it means last year things were a little bit thick. And this can also guide David on that blog that you're developing. Also on the same, you can choose to do a comparison. You can choose to put one on the left and the other one on the right, which you need to use, like this one. You can say it to be on the right, so that when you move your slider, you can see different changes over time. So this one on the surface reflectance, I can actually remove it and go back to the count observations, which shows the mean observations over time. And when you move your slider, you can see what is happening over time. And also, if you're happy with this, you can go to the other part where you actually work a little bit on this story, and you can choose to develop a story. And you can say you capture the screen and you start documenting your story. So these are some of the areas that you can look at. And also on the same, from the story editor and etc., you can also choose to share anything that you might have on the screen. And you can say, I want to share this with everybody in this meeting room. I can do a copy of this link and I'll put it in the chat and you can open it from your side. So you can also see if it opens on your side and you can move to any area. So today we were just looking at some of the notebooks, and we looked at the crop health, and we looked at the urban for an example. Then we looked at the water extent just to see an overview. And from the water extent, we've also looked at how you can link with the DA Africa maps so that you have an ecosystem of data that you can actually show and share. Yes. So any question for us?
Kiasi. Nakuona nikimaliza. Okay.
Yes, David.
Oh, sorry. So,
was that
Alan
Lauren?
was no, it was Alan.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we are looking at developing this as part of our use cases. And I like to encourage the rest of the team as well. I think starting next week, since I can see most of the guys are almost finishing, John leading the team, Silence on the other side, Kigeni. I think from next week, we may have to look for ways in which we can start developing some of these use cases based on some of the problems that you've experienced from your country. So I think on Friday, during the Friday session that we'll be having, we will take you through how exactly you can come up with a use case and how you can utilize the platform to solve some of the problems that you're already experiencing back in the country. But so far, so good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. I can see two people who've joined the room with very interesting names, Hotspot and User. Could you also introduce yourselves so that you're not speaking to some spies in the room? So, User, you can tell us where you're calling from?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes, my name is Cindy.
Yes.
And Edward sent us the link to join the meeting to have an overview of what Digital Earth Africa is about.
So, Cindy, you're calling from Ghana?
Ghana, yes.
Ah, okay. You work at the university or Ghana Statistical Service?
No, none.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We're also joined by Hotspots. So Hotspot prefers to be anonymous. Otherwise, any question for us from this small presentation we've shared? We were just going through overview of these notebooks. My view is that we can actually maximize the sessions with going through everything and also hearing from each and every one of you. So no question for us. Yes.
I'll just like to give John Kalego and Silence Chirwa to give us their what they feel so far regarding the platform.
Yes, John Kalego. Yes, sir.
The platform is quite okay in all respects, except that the issue of executing some of those exercises, I do not understand why some of them cannot run, even when you have not made any mistakes in terms of copying or even typing. So, you know, that is, of course, some of us do not have that serious background on Python. So it becomes very difficult to run through. You know, it's only when you run through, then you try to do a lot of observations, comparisons, is when maybe you can understand a few things here and there. But when it fails completely, even in the first step, it becomes very difficult. Otherwise, the rest of the things to me are quite okay and easy to follow, easy to understand, and quite user-friendly.
Thank you very much, John. And very sorry for the errors. I think some of them I've also encountered another one when I was doing one of the exercises. So we are looking at those errors and resolving them very quickly. And also we like the comment that you see a lot of possibilities with the platform and you're welcome to exploit to the maximum. And I know very soon you'll be receiving your certificate as you finish the last exercise 6. Congratulations in advance.
Yes. Can somebody get a PhD degree out of this?
I wish, though, but now it's just a certificate. And also the PhD will come with the idea that you can use the platform for your work. For example, at the Survey of Kenya, you guys have done a lot with NSDI. So you can look at an area that you wish to expand more, and using this imagery, it's very easy for you to customize your research. And also in this room, we also have fellow professors like Dr. Kelaboge in the University of Botswana. You can connect, and you'll be her student, not mine. Yeah.
We would be happy, but
yeah.
And I hope we continue using the platform for forever and ever after this.
Yeah, it is possible. The program is here to stay. And actually, with the implementing partners like RCMRD, who've been here for more than 40 something years, it means the platform is here to stay in our lifetimes.
Okay.
Yeah, welcome so much. Any other comments from anybody?
It's not a comment as such. I think it's a question. Can we use the platform to render machine learning algorithms?
At the moment, we're exploring this, especially with the crop mapping. I think David Ongo is involved in the crop validation. So there's something we're trying to see if it can really help. David, how much have you guys reached?
Okay, first of all, there is a machine learning. If you could share your screen again.
Yes.
There are some scripts for machine learning inside there.
Yes, yes.
That so if an individual can take them up and utilize.
Yeah.
They are scalable machine learning. It's up there with the ODC. It's a folder. Inside the folder, there's a number of other. Just below Dask.
Yeah.
So yes, it's possible to utilize this particular platform with all aspects related to machine learning. A number of scripts have been done there. If you want random forest, whichever that you want. And then we've been utilizing the same for crop mask mapping. We did for East Africa. If you go to the platform again, we have platform, then you can add data. We have agriculture. Hello? Yeah, just below it, we have that. That is a product of machine learning from the same platform. This is agriculture crop mask for the Eastern Africa region. We are currently looking into the South African countries, and as soon as it's done, you have options there. There's crop area as well as crop probability. So right now we are trying to create one for the South African countries, and as soon as it's ready, it should be uploaded as well. We are looking at 95% accuracy in that particular product. 96, approximately 96. So there's one for West Africa, North Africa. That the one I've shown is already for East Africa. There is West Africa, and then the South African countries. Nkube.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you very much. You've answered my question.
You're welcome.
This can be very nice if you're making a statement to the honorable ministers and tell them this is here you can do some cropping, or here you need to do something. Would that be the case, David?
So yes, which country in Southern Africa are you looking at?
If you pan up a little bit, Dr. Mubea.
Yes. I was trying to change this map viewer.
Actually, all the way from Angola, Namibia, Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Botswana, Eswatini, all the way to the South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you. You see where the East African map ends?
Yes, here.
Then from going down from Angola to Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique, going down, all those countries. We have a preliminary product, but right now we cannot share it yet as we are going through. It's under.
No, it's fine. I was just curious to know. You've covered my study area. I start from Angola also.
Okay. You're welcome.
And run through Namibia to Botswana to Mozambique.
Yes. So some of the things that we are actually expecting, some of the stories that we'll wish to see, is how this particular platform has helped you to solve some of your day-to-day problems. If you have a chance to showcase it to your minister, to your director, will be very happy. And of course, it can come with a photo. You had a social session with the director of this particular department of a problem that they've been having, and through the platform they've been able to solve that problem. We'll be very happy to showcase some of those as our successful stories in our website. Dr. Ari, back to you.
Thank you so much, David, for this insightful knowledge, and also it's good also for the questions you've had from colleagues from the SADC. It seems like this data you've produced it according to agricultural ecological zones, or the economic communities. So this is very nice, and possibly this will be ready in the end of the Q4 or Q3.
Oh, hello.